Welcome to Good Mythical More. It's been discussed a lot, I'm told, but we haven't talked about it, I'm told. So we're gonna tell each other.
We're told.
The legend of the debate of 100 men versus a gorilla.
But first, let's check our voicemail.
Hi, I have a question. Would you rather be able to only eat your favorite foods for the rest of your life, or be able to eat anything you want, but you have to eat a portion of your least favorite food every day?
And the alternative is just fruit?
Favorite food.
They said favorite fruit.
I think I could learn to eat something that I hated every single day in order to have access to anything I wanted.
Variety. Variety is better.
We gotta go with that.
Because you would start to hate the thing that you once loved.
We'll call you back and let you know, I guess.
So you said I'm told, meaning that you did not know that this was a thing until just a moment ago?
I have heard via word of mouth only about this. Being completely honest. I'm aware that there is something floating around the internet where people debate what would happen if 100 men fought one gorilla, but I've just inferred that...
You've heard other people talking about this?
Yeah.
You didn't see it on the internet?
No, didn't see it on the internet. And I don't know how I would see it on the internet. Like what format, would it just be two guys on a podcast?
It just shows up in clips that just, like, I don't even feel like I'm on social media that much. It just feels like for like a week there, it was the only thing that it was just like, why is everyone talking about this?
I'm not on amusing, widespread internet things.
But I'm trying to get to the bottom of
You literally
history.
are.
I don't think
But when I look at your feed, as you flip through it, I'm like, yeah, I've seen that, I've seen that, I've seen that, I've seen that.
But I would never see that, and it knows that.
I think you do see it, but before it becomes something, you flip past it.
Dog advice, ads.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you're not going to necessarily. Well, I mean, it would come up on Reddit maybe.
Am
But that's
I on
not
Reddit?
That's not where I saw it.
Oh, where do you want me to be?
But you're not going to see it now.
I don't think the Moore should be trying to have Link find this on his social
Yeah,
media.
let's just do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Well,
See,
that's the debate. What side of the debate do you stand on?
I have a totally fresh perspective on this, meaning I haven't thought about it in an ounce.
I watched some people talking about it, and I haven't really formed an opinion, but let's form one now.
This is like a tip-top gorilla. This is not like a maimed gorilla or like a captive gorilla.
Yeah, tip-top gorilla.
But I think
all
these men are tip-top as well, right?
No,
you can say whatever you want.
Let's say
I
it's
also
the
have,
most capable gorilla versus the most capable men.
Sure.
Let's just say that.
I have opinions from the crew on both sides of the debate, and I also have expert opinions on the debate after you have, let me know where you stand and why.
So obviously there's no weapons. It's just
Barefisted.
barefisted, right?
Naked. They're both all naked.
Okay, cool.
Maybe the men have jock straps on.
Let's give the men jock straps.
All the men have jock straps.
Yeah. So they're, just to be clear, their cheeks are out, but their twigs and berries are not.
Right, yeah. So the first thing to note...
So the gorilla could spank cheeks.
He could. The first thing to note is
that... But the men could spank...
Link is going to keep talking. That's the first thing to note.
Well, I thought I was talking first.
Okay. I waited for a gap. Usually that's what I do.
Yep,
I usually wait for a gap.
I'm just joking. I want you to take it.
I
just don't want to be informed by what you're going to say because I'm a complete blank slate.
Okay. Well, don't let me mess you up. The first thing to note is that the gorilla is not going to be nearly as determined as the men, because the men in this scenario have gathered because of this question that has been asked. And so they know we're going to try to take this gorilla
They're aware
out.
of it.
The gorilla is like, why are there a lot of men here? I mean, unless Coco signs to him that what's about to happen, and I don't think that's how it works. A gorilla is very smart.
Coco is
pretty closely related to us.
For like the streaming event, Coco's commentating.
Right. But the thing is that the gorilla would have to kind of figure out what was going on, but the gorilla is going to be in defense mode.
Blindsided.
And also,
you're starting this off kind of sad.
gorillas are not aggressive. They are showboats. They do this thing. But you can go first of all, they're herbivores. They're not carnivores. And people go every day, multiple times a day. There are people who go to the few different gorilla populations in Africa that are still around, and they go and they visit them, and you go and you walk right up to them. Gorillas don't kill people. They can. And Harambe should not have been shot. He was helping that little boy. Okay? So I'm getting this out of the way, that they're not aggressive. So they're gonna have to be like, oh, this thing is really after me right now. These men in jockstraps are after me, and now I've got to respond.
Yeah, this is sad. So he's late to his own party.
That's just the reality of a gorilla.
But I mean, how would the men, and they're jerks. I think that's what you've established. Man, these men are jerks.
Desperate. They're desperate. They're desperate for money because they're being paid.
Okay.
Clearly to do this.
But they've had proper caloric intake.
They're all carb loaded. Every one of them.
Okay.
They are so ready. And they're like UFC, like.
I think if you go up and if you're trying to blindside the gorilla.
Where did the UFC thing come? I feel like.
Tip top.
The most capable men and the most capable gorilla.
Capable. They're capable, dedicated.
Somewhat
men.
capable men in jockstraps.
But they're gonna go up in a configured fashion where I would think you could probably get 20 to hit them at the same time, and they're all going for a different part.
And there's a negotiation on who the front line would be, because many of them are going to die.
Yeah.
Many of them are going to die.
It's like you got the throat punching brigade, you've got the eye gouging brigade.
I don't think it can be that specialized, because once you get up there and that gorilla knows what's going on and begins to defend himself, all bets are off. You just grab whatever you can, because what we're trying to do,
eye gouging, throat punching,
can be anything. You may have a primary goal, but you need to be open to all kinds.
Everybody's doing it all, guys.
But this is the only hope that the men have, and I actually think there's reasonable hope here.
So they've blinded the gorilla in the first 28 people.
See, that's unpredictable. That's probably not going to happen.
So the hope you're talking about?
Fatigue.
Oh.
So clearly the gorilla is stronger, many times stronger than a man, can kill you with like a backhand, right?
So you're going to spread the people out. You're going to draw him in.
The only question is how many men will die or be critically injured before the gorilla gets tired enough where one of them can choke him out, because that's how you will end it, is by, because it's still, again, anatomy-wise, they're so similar to us. You can, if he's tired enough, you can get him in a chokehold and cause him to faint, and that would be the end of the fight. And I think...
And he survives, which is nice.
I think 60 to 70 men are going to be critically injured. But I do think in that last 25%, 25 to 35% of men is when we take the gorilla out. And I am on the man's side in this just because I'm a man.
You're one of them?
I don't believe in, no, I don't believe in this. I'm just saying we because I am a man. That's my opinion.
If you had to be one of them, would you be like on the periphery?
I'd be in the back.
Yeah. I'd be in the periphery.
I'd be like, y'all work this out. Y'all young men work this out. I don't look good in a jockstrap anyway.
But what's going to anything could happen. You run this simulation a million times, the gorilla is going to win a certain amount of the times. You're very convincing in that I think the majority of times something like that would play out. Like you got more men to try the same thing every single time, but there's a lot of redundancy. I mean, something goes wrong with the gorilla. There's plenty of things that can go wrong with that one gorilla if we're running this as a simulation.
He doesn't have unlimited energy. He's still a hominin. No, not a hominin, a primate.
I'm just trying to make the point that in the scenarios where the gorilla wins, those are exceptional.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but how could he win?
It's a good day for a gorilla.
In those scenarios, I think there's like, maybe they take so long to tire him out, they all get the plague. Like, you know how humans can
That's
get
hard.
something?
That's hard to predict.
Well, what about like travel diarrhea? You know, they went to the gorilla and they're all like
If the men have travel diarrhea,
getting
then
Montezuma's
but
revenge.
in my scenario, they never begin. They're all tested for diarrhea right before the thing happens.
Well, I'm trying to say that there's some fluke things that have happened that the gorilla does win, 19% of the time you run this simulation. So,
Because some people,
how does the gorilla win? I think he takes out the leader,
the alpha.
the alpha human. And there's someone who thought they were calling the shots, and they're out there in the corner, and he starts running, and then he takes him out, and then everybody else just bows down.
The human ability to communicate, though, and if we've all sort of
Strategy and
we've got a
communication.
strategy that we've established before, and we're like, this is what happens if
trying to paint
alpha goes down.
the pictures of how the gorilla will win.
I just don't think I don't think
You
he
think
would.
zero?
I think if all
I think
things
if-
equal, I think that
If
no, you know what? There is a scenario in
I
which
bet if there was a religious disagreement between the men, like they start,
if the men are divided, if
start
it's
talking-
Protestants and Catholics,
they start talking
they
about-
turn on each other,
right?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that could happen. They don't agree on how to proceed. So
Clearly,
then-
that's a
so-
possibility.
All right.
Would you like to hear the
So the
opinion
gorilla's
of
going to
others?
win in that instance.
Would we like to hear wrong opinions? Yes.
No. I have crew opinions and I have expert opinions. Well, so why don't we start with crew opinions?
How about we open my blind box before you get it?
Okay.
I really think I'm really curious if somebody's talking about this from a simulation standpoint, because
People made simulations.
there's no answer. It's just a question of like, what are the odds given all of the factors?
It's little Deborah.
Giant.
Giant.
is a-
It's giant Deborah holding
but in a little form.
Debbie. Look at that.
And the resemblance is uncanny. It really is. Some good work, Jillian. You did. Jillian's made all of our Christmas ornaments. Julian.
Julian, you did a good job, Julian.
Does anybody else call you Julian? Nobody's ever called you Julian.
You've never been to the South, have you?
Julian. You never heard that? What is it, Julian? Julian.
No, yeah.
Julian.
We don't need all that.
Julian.
We need Julian.
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 I've had friends call me Julio, though.
Okay. All right.
Julian is one of my favorite names to say.
Okay.
You did good work, Julian.
Okay, we have more team gorilla people than team men people, apparently.
Yeah. I mean,
Brittany says, the minute the men see the first 10 men get ripped limb from limb, they're retreating scared. No chance of coordination.
This is a possibility.
but there's strategy ahead of time. I think intimidation, annihilation, and just sheer mayhem of it all. If you're getting the gorilla to do something that gross, like rip them from limb to limb, I guess is that how the gorilla would kill the men? Yeah, there'd be arms coming off.
I think it's mostly blunt force trauma, but I do think that you have to have a cash prize for the men.
Sierra says, men do not have the strength, focus, or communication skills to even remotely take on a gorilla. There's just no way.
Yeah. I don't know, have you ever watched football?
These are exceptional men, though. Exceptional men.
I mean, look at what men are capable of if a football's involved.
I do think that you're talking, like, that's actually a good, like, a team, like a football team, a rugby team.
Oh God, like one of those like the New Zealand rugby
They're
people?
used to, like, getting hit by things and not immediately folding like I would if I got hit by a gorilla.
Yeah, and they like to pile up on each other.
Yeah, they don't mind
And
that.
you pile up on that gorilla and you suffocate him.
Kaylin says, I primarily think that we're vastly underestimating the power of human fear and the need to follow the pack. If a group of men see another man get his chest caved in by an angry gorilla, it doesn't take much for those survival instincts to kick in and start running.
Yeah, but what about war? Look at what men have accomplished in war. No. They do. Yeah, they do. I mean, we need to have what we need to have is we need to have a military. We need to have a rugby team and then a military unit take on this gorilla, and there's no chance.
Okay, now
Because
team...
because what they've done, Kaylin, is they've trained that out of them.
Yeah, but this is supposed
You know?
to be like 100 random men. It's not
Okay, if it's just average dudes, just randomly picked, gorilla.
Yeah, if it's random people, but
Because it's like, I don't want to do this. That's what most of the guys would be saying.
all right, we were all saying we'd be back at the Fringe.
Yeah.
Team Man, Megan says the original tweet stated that the 100 men had to be dedicated. If 100 men really wanted to kill a gorilla, they could. That gorilla only has 2 arms for smashing. 100 men have 200 arms. The math speaks for itself.
There you go.
Dedication is the name of the game here, and you got to have that.
You
cash
got to have
prize.
that, Kaylin, so you're out.
Cash prize.
Maureen says, I'm sorry, but the gorilla is going to get tired after dealing with the first 10 guys.
Yep.
Plus, gorillas are peaceful creatures, unlike men.
They're great. I love them.
Rhett's reading your diary out loud to me over the phone every night. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Now, the expert opinions are interesting. Primatologist Kat Hobater.
Now, primatologists, you think they're biased towards the primate or the human?
Definitely towards the gorilla.
But I think they're going to go, but my
But they
beloved gorilla is the victim, so I'm think they're going to say the men. You think so?
Yeah, because I choose to believe that we believe what the experts believe.
Honestly, 100 guys wouldn't stand a chance, she says. They're going to be swatting at him like out-of-breath children, and a single one of his punches would floor them. And if the next 92 guys don't realize they don't stand a chance after he's knocked the first 8 out without breaking a sweat, I've got to assume we're not talking about folks who are going to outsmart him.
Well, this scenario seems like we're sending one guy up at a time. Of course, that's not going to work. We have to have the envelop strategy.
I think the primatologist was only thinking about the immediate physical capability of this gorilla. I mean, you've got tunnel vision.
Yep.
You're too close to it.
primatologist, Michelle Rodriguez, says both gorillas and humans are social animals, and safety in numbers is an important point in their decision making to engage in fights. Male gorillas are most likely to fight their hardest when they are defending a group.
Oh.
And then
All right, well, that's a nice little fact.
we have a
Let's just
wildlife
let's have the gorilla's family over to the side.
Your
wildlife
family's next.
conservationist Ron Magic says
Ron Magic?
Conservationist Ron
Magel,
Magic.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
listening.
100 men in their 20s and in excellent physical condition could ultimately defeat a gorilla if they are committed and go in united. That doesn't mean it would be pretty.
Nope.
The human assault force would have to expect severe collateral damage that could easily include death from broken necks, severe arterial bite wounds, massive concussions leading to fatal brain bleeds, and asphyxiation from other men piling on top of them.
Yeah. That's why we need those rugby players.
Not gonna be pretty.
Yeah, we knew that going in.
So you agree with that guy,
Yeah,
man?
that guy, Ron Magic.
Ron
So
Magic.
you agreed with the man, and then you disagreed with the 2 women on
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Well, this is why we need more women in STEM, so some of
Fine.
them can be right.
Or more women to go up against this gorilla. If y'all want to have at the gorilla, y'all go for it,
right.
women.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's what we need.
And do it in space if you want. I take it back.
Yeah, I take it back. It was only a joke.
We're not out yet. And I just took it back. It's a joke. Now we're out.
Join Mythical Society for 20% off monthly plans through June 14th at mythicalsociety.com.